See.
It highlights that constant sort of human need to push back, even subtly, against a system trying to... Okay, let's get into this. Today we're doing a deep dive, really unpacking insights from source material on Margaret Atwood's novel, The Handmaid's Tale.
Right. And our goal here is pretty straightforward. Break down the core stuff about this dystopian world, Gilead, based on what the sources highlight for you.
So Gilead, the sources immediately place us there. It's this totalitarian state, chillingly near future, that's basically replaced the U.S.
And what's fascinating is how the sources pinpoint the trigger. It wasn't, a slow creep initially.
No, exactly. The material points directly to a huge, unexplained fertility crisis as the catalyst, a major biological event.
And that crisis becomes the excuse, the justification for this radical restructuring of society.
A restructuring that specifically targets women, stripping them of almost all rights. It's brutal.
Yeah, the sources detail how women get sorted into these really rigid classes based mostly on, if they can have children.
And the key group, the handmaids, that's where the sources focus our attention through the main character.
Right, the handmaids are the fertile women forced into childbearing servitude for the ruling class, the commanders.
And we experience this world, as the sources show, through the eyes of Offred. She's a handmaid assigned to a commander and his wife, Serena Joy.
And that name, Offred. The sources make a point of this. It's not her real name. We don't know her real name.
It tells you everything, doesn't it? Of Fred. She's defined by the man she serves. Her identity is just erased.
Completely. And looking through her eyes, the sources paint this picture of intense daily oppression. It's not just hardship, it's meticulous control.
Things we take for granted. The sources say women there can't read, can't speak freely.
And critically, have zero autonomy over their own bodies. Their entire lives are dictated.
It's control on every single level, isn't it? The sources mention even language is policed.
Precisely. It's about absolute power. The sources really underscore how the regime uses the fertility crisis, uses women's bodies to consolidate and keep that power.
It shows how something biological, a vulnerability, can be weaponized politically.
Absolutely. It's quite stark in the material.
So moving on slightly, the sources also really zero in on some core themes running through Offred's narrative.
They definitely do. Beyond the obvious ones like power and the loss of identity we've touched on.
There's also gender oppression, clearly.
Yeah.
But maybe, surprisingly, hope.
Yes, hope. The sources highlight that flicker of it, even in such a grim setting. It's persistent.
And it's not just a feeling, right? The sources show it in Offred's actions, small acts of resistance.
Exactly, quiet things, like forming forbidden relationships, maybe getting involved with underground networks, small ways she tries to reclaim some agency.
It highlights that constant sort of human need to push back, even subtly, against a system trying to crush individuality.
Yeah, that struggle for personhood. And then there's the ending, which the sources describe as, famously ambiguous.
Right. We don't get a neat resolution for Offred. Her fate is uncertain.
But the sources suggest that ambiguity is powerful. It underlines not necessarily a happy outcome, but the sheer resilience of the human spirit against tyranny.
The story might end there, but the possibility of resistance or just survival kind of hangs in the air.
Exactly. It leaves you thinking.
So when you take this deep dive, looking at Gilead through the lens of these sources, it really makes you consider, what is our capacity for hope, for resistance, when faced with that kind of overwhelming control?
It's a heavy question. And tied to that, with the uncertain ending but the focus on resilience, the sources sort of prompt another thought for you, the listener.
Which is?
What does that specific kind of resilience look like? The kind that fights back when systems are actively trying to erase who you are, erase your choices, something to really mull over.
Grab The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, now on sale for $11.95. Don't miss this chance to build good habit and achieve remarkable results. Buy now, today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.